Hey everyone, today is Monday, July 26th. The time is 4:51 p.m. and the temperature right now is 29 degrees Celsius. I'm here just north of downtown Toronto. And there's a look at Rosedale Station. And this here is Yonge Street. And on the west side of Yonge Street here is Ramsden Park. And there's a look back south on Yonge. And welcome to the 5th installment of the Hidden Toronto series. So for this one, I'll be heading down into a park that is just to the east of Rosedale Station here. And that'll lead me down to the studio building. And that was the first purpose-built art studio in Canada. Rosedale Station here was constructed in, or at least it opened in 1954, although I think it was designed in 1947. And it's got a rather classic open-air design to it. And a lot of people in this area are quite familiar with Ramsden Park, which is just off in the distance there. But if you were to exit Rosedale Station and head east here on Crescent Road, there's an unmarked pathway that leads down to another park. So there's where you would exit the subway station. And there's a look down towards the platforms at Rosedale Station. I was kind of hoping a train would roll by while I was here, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. You still get a neat look at the north end of the downtown skyline. And right here is that unmarked path I was talking about. And this will lead down to Severn Creek Park. There's no signs to indicate it that it's this way. Oh, there's some art down there. And of course now a train is rolling in. And these stairs here should lead down into the park. And I've only ever been down here once before, even though I'm always in the area of Rosedale Station. There's another look back up north. And this takes us down into Rosedale Valley. There's a neat bench. And it looks like there's some tents up there. And I think that is Bud Sugarman Park. That sits on Yonge Street, just up that hill there. And this here would be the start of Rosedale Valley Drive. I think it's actually Rosedale Valley Road. And there's a path here that'll take you up to Clooney Drive. So this is nestled in a corner of the rather affluent Rosedale neighborhood. So this seems to be a more scenic route through the park. And this building here on the left is 100 Rosedale Valley Road. And that was constructed back in 1932. I'm not sure what its current use is. It appears it might be some kind of utility building. And the studio building where I'm heading was built back in 1914, and that was the home and working studio for a number of artists who were members of the Group of Seven. And they were a group of 7 rather prolific landscape painters. That was between 1920 and 1933. And they were well known for initiating the first national art movement in Canada. There's some apartments down here. And their collections featuring their work can be found at the Art Gallery of Ontario, as well as at galleries in Ottawa, and I think even one in Kleinburg, Ontario. And it's certainly rather peaceful down here. And the studio should be coming up just on the right here. I did choose a rather busy time of day to record this. And those are the Fontainebleau apartments. So on the right here is Almer Road. And it comes to an end right here, and Rosedale Valley Road takes over. And I'll wait for a gap in traffic to cross as I'm heading over to Severn Street. And here it is. This is the studio building. As I mentioned, it was built back in 1914. And you can see it from the subway line, which is directly to the west of it. It was designated a National Heritage Building. I'm not sure when exactly it took that, or took on that designation. There's a plaque here we can take a look at. It says here it was commissioned by Canadian artist Lawrence Harris, who lived from 1885 to 1970. There's a car at the end of the street here with someone in it. Otherwise, maybe I'd go try to peek around and see what's on the other side. But I've often wondered, as I looked out the window of the subway, what this building was exactly. And in a former life, working in insurance and commercial risk, I came across this building on one of my accounts. And that's sort of how I became familiar with it. But given that tens of thousands of people go by it every day, I'm willing to bet the vast majority of them are unaware of the cultural significance of it. And after the Group of Seven, it was home to another number of other artists. And I think it still operates as a live-work studio for artists to this day. And this park here is named after Lawrence Harris, who was a member of the Group of Seven. And it's just out of the way enough that you might not really notice it. So what I'll do now is I'll cut up the street. Oh, you can see a subway train squeaking through. So they are right up next to the building. But to finish up, I'll take this road here, maybe up to Bloor Street East. So we'll have gone from where Rosedale Station is over to Bloor Yonge Station. When that studio building was built, it was rented out at a cost of $22 per month for each artist. And that was just to cover the expenses of the building. I think this company here is a design firm, DJI. I'm not too familiar with them. I think this building dates back to 1954. There's an Ontario Association of Architects engraving on it. It's got kind of a classic look to it. Whereas the studio building, I think, is a concrete and steel construction with red brick. Here is Collier Street. There's no exit, but this is a neat residential street, a lot of older homes. You know what, let's go down it. Since it's unlikely that too many people have explored this area, I'm just kind of winging it from here on. I'll keep the camera focused to the south side, and then when I walk back on the other way, well, maybe I'll take one of these paths out, but we can check out the properties on the other side. I would guess these are Victorian style, probably dating back to the late 1800s. And we've come across a mini park, Molesworth Square. And here's a staircase that'll take you right down to Rosedale Valley Road. And I did not know about this. And Rosedale Valley Road will head to the east over to Bayview Avenue. And I think this might be part of the Manufacturer's Life building. Straight ahead, I'm not quite sure. It's definitely an office complex. You can tell I didn't research this part of the walk. Private property. Pets not permitted on property grounds. Yep, this is indeed part of the Manulife Building. That's cool. I just walked by that on a video I did down or along Bloor Street East the other day. I'm not seeing any heritage plaques on these homes, but it's possible this entire area has a heritage designation.
Yeah, because also he could have booked a flight.
All right, let's head over to the side entrance of the Manufacturers Life Insurance Building. And we'll finish up there, I think. I said I was going to head up to Bloor Street East. And this will pretty much take us there. And this here is Church Street. Oh, there's some neat art. And the original part of the Manulife Building opened up back in 1925, and it was 8 stories, but a few more stories were added later. And a fun little fact, one of the founding members of Manulife was George Gooderham, known for the Gooderham and Worts Distillery. They're the company behind the distillery district and the famous Gooderham Building, which is down at Church in Front. So we'll just head up to Bloor and get a look at the front of the property. Closed until further notice. And the grounds here are always rather immaculately well kept. So here's Bloor Street East. There's a look to the west. And a look at the Manulife Building. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this hidden Toronto walk through the Severn Creek Park and past the studio building, and then over to the not-so-hidden Manufacturers Life Insurance Company building. Admittedly, the last part of this walk was entirely improvised. And right across the street is St. Paul's Anglican Church. All right, let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, I do have links to YouTube channel membership or Patreon in the description. I also have a sporadically updated Instagram account. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.